Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Howdy, everybody, and welcome to the Apex Racing League NASCAR B Cup Series here at beautiful Watkins Glen, New York, for another round of our B-Class Championship in these NASCAR Cup cars. I'm Austin I'm joined by Sam Fitzpatrick with Samulu Kumo in the production booth, and you're here live watching Apex Racing TV.
And it is a change of scenery for us tonight. As Austin was saying, we are in New York State, and the Watkins Glen circuit, our only road course circuit for this season. And Austin, I mean, it's quite an obvious thing to say, but it involves a very different skill set for tonight for the drivers, and yeah, maybe a bit of a surprise win because, well, this is very different to the circuits we've visited so far this season.
Absolutely, and you know, it is definitely the most different circuit out of anyone because, hey, it's a road course. It's going to be a lot different skill set than what these drivers usually bring to the table on the oval side of things. But yeah, it's Watkins Glen. It's fun. It's very fast. You got a few big braking points of these cars, and you know, these cars are pretty big and heavy. Making these corners is going to be a big challenge. So, you know, for the first few laps, it's going to be a big hassle for a few of these drivers to really pinpoint down that opportunity. We're seeing this in practice right now. Jacob Reed struggling to make a few of these corners. The final corner and the penultimate corner went off track right there, both times actually. But yeah, this is actually, I believe, one of our biggest fields we've had this season.
Yes, currently at 21 drivers, which is very nice. And a little bit of a longer race as well this season. Anyone who tuned in for last season in the trucks that we were running back then, the race was a bit short. It was only 40 minutes long, and it was a little bit of a anticlimax. Tonight, we're going to be closer to 55 minutes, maybe even an hour that we will reach. So tyres going to be much more important, at least in the trucks, Austin. A change of tyres was absolutely necessary to get to the end. It was just one fuel stop. How do you expect the tyres to be in these cars? Are they a bit lighter than the trucks, or even heavier?
The tires, that is always a great question because it's about horsepower to pavement, but you know, these things have a little bit more horsepower than the trucks, but the trucks, you know, they're going to be rough on the tires either way. So the tires going to be very important as well. I'm pretty sure it's not always a one-size-fit-all, but these tires, I believe, are the same compound as the trucks as well as the NASCAR ones. So I believe they're going to be holding up about the same performance-wise compared to the trucks were. So they're going to be pretty good for the first few laps, and then everything else, you can see Jason Evans really struggling with that Supra coming out of that final corner and down that straightaway. But yeah, the one thing that these Xfinity cars have over the trucks is visibility, and you know, they like to drive on road courses a little bit more.
Yeah, I think they're handling a little bit better. And, some tricky corners, of course, to deal with around this. So Watkins Glen circuit, you can see how close the walls are, and really struggling right there, struggling to just get the power down. He's down the straight, and he's crashed down the straight, he gets wheels onto the grass, and well, that was absolute nightmare. White flag is out, practice is over, and qualifying is about to start. Just 5 minutes. The drivers will need to be very quick out of the track because I think they have a maximum of 4 laps that they can set. But obviously in 5 minutes they're not going to set those times. So make sure to get out there nice and quick, and of course fuel up for the whole session. And you should get maybe 2 flying laps in before the time runs out.
At least 2. Maybe we might only see 1 lap from a few people because, you know, we have it on the 5-minute counter, which is the normal for our oval side of the counter, but you know, we kept that right here, and you know, for the road courses. So everyone who's going to be confident in the qualifying skills and confident around the track is probably out there on track right now. I know a few people are staying in the pits and just not going to go out there, and you know, they're just going to stay at the back, because we saw in the truck series a lot of people at the front, they got a little bit too aggressive. We had a little bit of incident, so it's kind of that bridge of risk that you take.
Yeah, and a few drivers will have pit lane starts to serve as well. There were a few penalties given out last time out at Charlotte, so may have earned some penalty points and some pit lane starts. Not sure if we can show the championship points up on screen, but so far been a very good season for Tony Root-Passard. 1 race win for him so far. He won last time out at Charlotte, and also a couple of podiums where he's been absolutely excellent. Andrew Roos has won 1 race so far this season. He actually got a penalty though, so he's lost 5 points, which with the point scoring system we use here in this series is quite a disadvantage. And then Reed has been very consistent. Cora a bit under the radar, up there in 4th place, and Cora's running out the top 5. In the amateurs, currently Kevin Kitzman at the top of that one. Despite it not being a particularly good season for him, Mark Hutchinson has done well to close that gap. Glaskov, Glamsetzer, and all those guys still in the mix. Really, no one's had a perfect season in the ads. Of course, Kitzman in the lead there because he won back at Daytona round 1, but he's actually had 2 very poor meetings since then. So that gap has gone down to just 7 points now.
Yeah, as you said, it's very hard to have a perfect season. And, you know, it's really lining up, even with a race win with Kevin Kittleman, which is probably the most perfect of the perfect that you can get. It's still, you always have to be so consistent. As the AM, you're always stuck between the pros and the charging AMs behind you. So it's never a clear championship victory for the AMs until you just get to the later in the season, because everything can change in the blink of an eye.
First few times are being posted now. Andrew Roos going to the top now. Root-Passard goes to the top and is cleared by 0.17. We kind of have a good idea, I think, Austin, of what the pace is going to be for Roos, for Modos, for Glazkov, Hutchinson, many of the returning drivers who we've seen in the trucks, and also the other series on Apex Racing League. But
Watch
Rupasad
Alessandro.
and co, and Reed to a certain extent, I think, as well. We don't really have much of an idea. We've seen them on ovals, but we haven't necessarily seen them on road courses, at least I haven't.
I've seen a few of them on road courses. Alessandro Daldane, another commentator of us, crazy fast driver on road courses. Too bad he extended the track on the first lap time because they validated it.
Ha. Well, he's got time for this one. Won't have any more time for...
Yeah, this has got to be the banker right now, but it's Tony Repsard in that Ford, currently sitting up there on provisional pole position. The only driver in the 112s, he's just a bit ahead of Andrew Roos up there in second place. Luka Korlev in third. And that top three is really tightly packed. And Roos takes provisional pole by 0.03 of a second. And Tony can't answer back because Tony just did his final lap and he did not improve. He did improve right there with a 112.88, 112.85 for Roos. And still sitting down there in third place. Alessandro is coming around that final corner. Let's see if he can make an upset right there. Got very wide into the grass right there, but I think this will count. Comes across the line. And 11th.
Oh,
I'm going to be honest. I was not expecting that performance from Alessandro. You know, being a road course main, this is Sufi. Ooh, losing in the S's, but nice save right there.
Yeah, Alessandro, when he was racing in the Radical Racing Challenge, not strong in qualifying, but against this quality of field, you really do need to nail qualifying. And you know, overtaking is possible in these cars, but it can be quite a pain often. And of course, it's not easy to gain too many places off the start as well, because it's a rolling start. It's not a standing start. You can't just get a nice launch and storm past your rivals, as we have the grid up on screen.
Yeah, a grid and a really long pace lap too. So you know, we can take our times with this, and somebody I think wants to drink this in, man. On his final lap, Andrew Roos setting at 112.847. Takes pole position and will be starting in front of everybody else with Tony Repsard in second place. So the 28 and the 48 going to be a very fantastic time to watch both of them race it out here. The start, they're followed by Luka Korlev and Jacob Reed in fourth place. Janos Motos and Sergei Glazkov in 6th. And 7th and 8th is Mark Redford and Kevin Kittleman. Kevin looking to maintain that amateur prowess that he's been having and try to build on that lead that he's been having. They're followed by Matthew Sufi and Rory O'Shea in 9th and 10th. Alessandro Daldane and Mark Hutchison line up together. And they're followed by Kev Copeland, Jason Nethery, Thor Thulo, Rob Lundgaard, Adam Wright, Henrik Biela, Mark Sergel, Martin Steinbeckler, and Jeremy Corres. As completes our 21-car grid. And, you know, 3 of those cars will be starting from the pit lane.
But I think they should be able to actually take the grid because, yeah, for this series, we have just a ban for qualifying. Yeah. And so not quite as bad for the Jazz, although they are not yet on the grid. So hopefully we'll see them out there.
I think they might be not in the session too. But
well, that would be a disadvantage.
That could also be the fact, because I noticed a lot of cars in the practice session, and I'm just like, I also know a few of the drivers who are not we're not looking forward to this round, and we're just going to be taking this one as a break. But I do know one driver that was looking forward to this right now, and he's currently sitting in 8th place and getting ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Redford.
Hi, good evening.
Mark, it's a road course. How you feeling about this race? What preparations were you doing before this race to really get you comfortable?
I'm feeling pretty nervous. I'm not really much of a road specialist, so I'm hoping it goes well. I'm pretty pleased to be up on the 4th row, so hopefully, if I can finish top 10, that will make me happy.
All right. Well, you heard the goal from Mark. We wish you the best of luck up here in the booth, and you have yourself a great race, man.
Thanks, man.
That was Mark Redford. Always great to have a little chat with the drivers on the pace lap. We hope it's doing that a little bit more as they go on and try to, and get ready as we here in the booth try not to celebrate like crazy.
Yes, yeah. Well, thanks to anyone who's tuned in so far, because it's just been a very exciting race on the iRacing YouTube channel in the IR01 World Championship Series, and yeah, someone from Apex Racing Team has done very well for himself. So congratulations, Peter, because I'm sure he'll be listening to this. I'm sure, you know, as he was doing those final few laps, he wanted to, you know, tune in for this series. So yeah, congratulations, Peter, because we know you're listening.
Yeah, congratulations, Peter, Force Dynamics Delar iRacing Grand Prix champion. Wow. And that's 2 days in a row. Back-to-back championship wins for Apex Racing Team. Yesterday won the Rallycross Championship, and today, just right now, as of a minute ago, World Championship, Delar World Championship. But on to the main event of today. Here, NASCAR B-Class Racing pace car is pulling off of the pit lane, and it's all up to Roos. Let's stack it up, and it's green flag here at Watkins Glen.
Excellent start for Reed. He's already past Korolev. It looks like I think he's going to have that position covered off as well. Good launch from Roos as well. He's able to put a couple of car lengths between him and the number 28. And also good start for Redford. He's now at the top of the outer drives and has gapped Glazkov slightly. So yeah, nice stuff there from the just on the kind of odd side, although yeah, really not very much of a pattern down the order. Beeler also up 5 places. He did eventually take the start, and yeah, he's got up past a bunch of drives, maybe getting a good launch as they deal with the bus stop for the first time. A couple of 2 wide further back. They've done very well though. We're just seeing Kittelman in that red 11 machine cycling through in 9th place. Meanwhile, Hutchinson trying to fend off Dalladone.
Yeah, I saw Dalladone quick as a fox and really looked down the inside of the back end, swirling around right there. But he's definitely on the charge of Mark Hutchinson as they head through that penultimate left-hand corner before the final corner of this lap. Yeah, I gotta say, out of all the corners here, I find that corner the most deceiving because, you know, it's banked to the left. It's got a short run-up right there, and, you know, the braking zone just makes it feel like I can take this corner just a little bit too faster than you'll mostly find yourself locked up and in the gravel pits. There's one move in the back of the pack right there, but as we got on board of Alessandro Dalladone, heading into the S's, missing the apex on his inside on that corner entry, just trying to get a good run on Hudson, but Hudson has an amazing run on O'Shea, and he's going to be looking for a move at 10th. Looks down the inside. He's too far back to really make a lunge back there. Gets back into line as they head back into the S's, and yeah, the bus stop chicane right here is very trickily placed. It's very good for the driver ahead because you don't have that giant long straight to really get that amazing draft off of. So if you're going to go for a move heading into the chicane in these cars, you're really going to have to commit and have an amazing run and already be really close to the car ahead of you, or else there's going to be a dive bomb of the century down the inside, which we've seen sometimes leads to a big incident. And almost having a big incident right there. Tony's back getting picked out a lot.
Yeah, if you make a couple of changes to this car track combo, I mean, if you don't have the bus stop and maybe you have some single seaters around here, it'd be impossible to hold your position. But in these cars, with this SS section being not flat out, it's not kind of a slipstream zone like it is in like prototypes or GTs or single seaters. And of course that bus stop as well, making very much a single file, as you say, very tricky to overtake. Yeah, it's really trying to score this circuit as 28 having to go defensive. much of a warning there, just has to make sure he gets it stopped, which he does well. He'll be getting a little bit of the job there from Moose, and actually a very good bus stop there from Moose. Maybe that's where he's a bit more confident taking the curbs very well, and makes up a car length or two on the driver ahead. It was actually Reed with the fastest lap of the race last time round, but expected to see those times get faster as the fuel burns off.
Yeah, fuel burns off, but also the tires will be wearing out too, so it's going to be a fine balance here with keeping the times up. There's a bit of a gap from Sergey Glaskov to Mark Redford, and Redford had a good start as well. Redford's up in the 6th place.
Yeah, he's pulled away a bit, hasn't he? I mean, he got that gap immediately.
Oh, look at the
And
background.
he's actually done very well to kind of maintain it, and now there's a bit of a queue forming up behind Glasgow. And Deladany not really doing much at the moment. Did finish, I think, on the podium last season in the trucks, but not having the same amount of pace tonight. And also Chulo just dropping down there to 18th. I think he's been overtaken by both Adam Wright and Rob Lowe.
Yeah, Tulo's really struggling. Oh, we got a crash. That's a 68 of Kev Copeland. Stuck on the inside of the track, kept it right there, and everyone got past him safely. Now, because this is a road course and cautions are thrown by iRacing, we say green as, well, A, the cautions around here take forever, and B, local cautions are the most realistic way to go. Now, I do believe there is a live admin in the session. If there is a car blockage completely.
Korlev's gone.
Korlev's dropped. Connection. We'll see if he's fully back soon, or has he been assimilated from the server.
That would be a shame. He was running up in 4th position, 4-5 up in P3. So Modos now up into 4th. There is no live steward, so if we have a track blockage, then bring it on. They'll all come piling in, and we'll see who remains. There is a fast spur though for the drivers, so it wouldn't be
I thought you made
at the end of the race. Yeah, so in real life, if a driver spun like Copeland did, I wonder if we could get a replay of that Copeland incident. Would there be a caution?
Knowing NASCAR, yes.
Okay.
And Luka Korlev was assimilated from the server. The message just went through, server disconnected due to incoming packet loss. So unfortunately, Luka Korlev, who was up there in 3rd place, dropped away. And is now down, well, in the pits. That's a very unfortunate situation, but very fortunate situation for a few of these drivers that are looking for another extra spot.
Somehow Copeland hasn't had to pit after that incident. He's just continuing round. It'll be interesting to see what his times are.
It's not that big damage. It's not that...
No. I mean, I wonder if you'll... I assume it's going to be a 1-stop for these drivers. I wonder if it might just be worth him converting to a 2-stop, maybe pitting around lap 12. And, yeah, getting some fresher. Of course, you will have fresher tyres across the race if you go for a 2-stop. But it doesn't look too great. It's going to be a very boring race, but he wants to score the points for himself and his team.
I'm getting confirmations. Modern NASCAR would not throw a yellow for a single car spin out on a road course. Pre-stage NASCAR definitely would. That's when I stopped watching NASCAR. I don't watch modern NASCAR. I hate dealing with that. Jacob Reed looking down the inside of Tony. It's a very risky move. He wants to go right there, but he is not going to fully launch it. As you see Tony really struggling with the tires, and you know, if they continue like this, Andrew Ruiz is going to be pulling away a little bit more, and he definitely actually is pulling out that gap slowly but surely. You know, with Tony and Jacob putting pressure on each other, they're going to burn each other's tires out really fast right here. And if Ruiz just keeps it smooth and simple, he's going to pull away with it.
Lead Southie has got past Kisselman, and they are still actually battling one another. I think going into turn 1, Kisselman trying to take back that position. Now they're offline. This is allowing the couple of cars ahead of them to escape. So it was originally Kisselman ahead, and he has eventually been able to hold on to that position. but Southby is looking faster at the moment. Up 1 place from their start is the pair of them, as that is a dive there from Hutchinson as he got past Will. They've somehow managed to get too wide. They now part of the circuit. There's a big body slam right there, and O'Shea loses 2 further positions. And they will be very tricky to get back because he's just lost out to Daladone and Bila, who are 2 very quick drivers. And now Daladone sees the opportunity to get past Hutchinson as well. He's right on the inside, almost no space for him whatsoever there. He'll be tight into the corner, but he's done it on the brakes, and Daladone gains a couple of important places. Still plenty more overtakes to be done.
Yeah, Daladone taking a big advantage of Hutchinson. Big tail slide right there coming out of the bottom corner, but O'Shea might be thinking he was a little bit cheated right there, so you know, I'm expecting a good stewards report after this race as Bila looks down the inside of Hutchinson. It's not going to have that opportunity right there, but Hutchinson gets a better ace than Daladone. He's going down to the inside. Hutchinson, Daladone side by side, heading into the SS. Daladone forced to go wide, and Hutchinson makes up that move, but here comes Bila on the back of Daladone. Bila's going to get a great run, but also getting a great run is O'Shea. O'Shea's on the outside of Bila, getting the draft. They almost touch out the ace, and Bila is just finally realizing that O'Shea's right there. He's going to have that inside line heading into the chicane once more at the chicane. O'Shea is just not going to get his way right there, as well, he didn't really send it down the inside. I believe he just let Bila have that line to avoid another incident 2 laps in a row, but very exciting lap right there. And you know, with all that fighting, Adam Wright's now joining the fight.
Yeah, Wright's kind of come out of nowhere, but yeah, gained 2 seconds on O'Shea on that last lap. Such was the difficulties that Rory suffered. And this long chain formally, it is very spread out now, but yeah, it's surprising that Daladone hasn't been any faster. Of course, fixed setup in these series, everyone has the same setup, and of course that means that they all start on the same fuel as well. So yeah, really, everyone's even. There's no gains here. There's everyone should be pace is very representative of themselves. As yeah, we just glancing to the inside, but again can't get past Root Passard yet. And also Modos 5 seconds back, really by himself. Modos on that last lap lost 0.3 of a second, but he gained 0.2 of a second on Redfist. So well, I feel sorry for Modos. That's the worst place to be. You are a good race, and he's all by himself.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. If you're all by yourself and you're pulling away from the guys behind, but you're losing time to the guys ahead, that's to the point where it's like, I could just drive my own race and just do my own thing right here, because you know, you're faster than the people behind you. The guys up front, they can have an incident and you get a freebie, but you know, it's just at that point a glorified test session. But you know, if this was an official race, hey, safety rating.
Yeah, as Kolev comes into the pits, he's going to come up right in the pack. And, oh, he's very close to the amateur race leader, and he's going to have to let past Kitzelman soon as well. Now, he will be topped up on fuel, I imagine. Now, Kolev will have a fresh set of tyres, so he should be, he might be faster, he might be slow. In fact, the times have got slower, so they're now lapping about half a second a lap slower than what they were doing earlier on. So I imagine he will be a bit slower than these guys. Well, the car number 10, who was running up in 4th position, remember, earlier on. A connection issue has sent him back. By the way, Daladone, I think we were just seeing before, making that move on Hutchinson. He's up to 9th place.
Yeah, but with Luka Korolev, he's going to have to pick his opportunities to make that move very sparingly, because, you know, he is racing around other cars, and he's 5 laps down at this point. So he's going to have to be not aggressive with his moves and not try to disrupt anyone's race. He might get over the radio and say, hey, I'm on new tires, I'm faster, can you just let me by? And that's a big slide by Nethery.
Of course, if you did that now, you wouldn't lose half as much time as Nethery's just done, because it's all tarmac now out there. So no penalty whatsoever. A lot of calls. This is certainly the highest in demand rescan circuit, but quite glad we still have this older model as Hutchinson was also out in the fields, and he's now lost out to Beeler, so it's all kind of undone now for Hutchinson, who was looking very quick earlier on, making up lots of places, but he's now got to watch out for O'Shea and Wright behind.
Well, speaking of rescans, a photo did emerge a few months ago of a iRacing truck in the hills of Watkins Glen, New York, driving around. Driving up the road to the circuit, so you know there has been photo evidence of a truck being near there, but iRacing haven't said anything about it. But there's also another rescan that these cars race at. This series races at the Indianapolis Road Course. That one is a confirmed rescan, and you know they're getting the new the current IndyCar road course update with curbs that will not jump up at you this time, so drivers can attack as hard as they can. But yeah, I know that road course update has been very looked after for a few of these drivers, mainly the IndyCar scene, but you know the Xfinity cars they do run here, and I know I just completely ruined the name of the championship because I wasn't supposed to say that name.
Nice. Good move there from the 27 of Wright to get past O'Shea. And Hutchinson again, I think he's overheated those tyres. Tyre wear is one thing, but particularly on iRacing, once you get temperature into the tyres, it'll be very tricky to dissipate that temperature. Gain back some grip. Seems like Beeler's also just struggling through the bus stop there. So he's lost a lot of time there. Hutchinson, and Wright needs to try to make his way past very quick. And again, Hutchinson sliding, and well, that's a problem. Sliding causes overheating, which causes sliding, which causes overheating, and so on and so forth. So yeah, tricky time right now for the British driver. And just a word on Indianapolis road course. Of all the tracks that could be added to iRacing, I really don't care one bit about that one. I think it's remarkably awful. So yeah.
Sam, be lucky that I live in America, not in the UK currently, because I would travel to your house and slap you across the face.
I don't know how you find any enjoyment in that. I think it's horrendously designed.
Like, if we had face cams on right now, Sam would be missing the Indianapolis Motor Speedway jacket that I'm wearing at the moment.
I mean, I'm not denying the oval. The oval's awesome. I mean, I never questioned that, but the road course, man, it's yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. But I feel like there's some tension here. You know, not everyone can be correct all the time. So, you know, I'll let Austin off for that one, and we'll take it back to this lead battle. Reese leading by 1.8 seconds now. He's extended it out. And, well, we're expecting pit stops around the 22 lap mark or so. But well, if anyone's going to go for the 2-stop, this would be around the time that you could maybe come into the pits, but I don't think you will do.
I don't.
Of course, in iRacing, the pit lane speed is just so slow that you really can't afford to take that extra transit.
And they haven't lost that much time. The tire drop off is massive right now, because if it was the 2-stop, you'd be you're only 5/10 quicker, or 5 to 6 tenths quicker at this time by. And you're going to have to make up that pit stop time within a short amount of laps. 14 laps, is it, if you want to go for a 2-stop? It's definitely, you're going to be pushing every lap. You can see what pushing every lap does for your tires. It burns them out more. You know, you slide, you heat up the tires, which will make you slide more, which heat up the tires, which makes the brakes catch on fire, which makes it, well, yeah, everything. And then it just makes you just slower even more. And, you know, that's what's been happening with Ripstone and Reed. They've been pushing these tires. We saw what was happening with Tony. The back end kicking out a lot, coming out of that final corner. And Reed, he's just staying with them. He's able to stay in that draft, but, you know, Jacob Reed's been following the line. And he hasn't been getting the best runs on, able to really get ahead of Tony. You can see Tony giving him a big chance right there, the big amount of oversteer.
Just a question, Austin. Do you care to pronounce where Jacob is from? His hometown?
Worcester?
Worcester. Worcester is how you pronounce it.
That was a loaded question.
Classic
Because Hutchinson had an issue.
He's dropped behind right now, although that one has been coming. It's his last lap time.
Let us loose by Hudson.
Oh,
Hudson.
no.
Big
Oh, he's gonna
sled
spin
and
around.
he's collected and oh my gosh. Well, we have a car upside down. This would definitely bring out a caution right now. But no cautions, chaos fully. O'Shea cannot believe it. The car that he was battling had an issue with, well, had another issue with him, and he was just completely innocent party. And oh my gosh. And I think there was an incident leading up to that. I see Hudson really loose on the tires right there. On the outside of turn 1 is sliding through the S's as it goes right down the inside and easily making up that move. And then here comes Hudson coming out there. The back end just kicks out right there, gets into the grass, and then, well, he tries to save it, and then bam! And oh my gosh, that would kill a man. The G-force would kill a man.
If he got chapped on the barrier like that, as O'Shea making new racing lines for himself, at least depositing the oil onto the grass and not the track. But yeah, that was a shame for big shame for O'Shea. Really shouldn't have been involved in that one. But you could see how Hutchinson, he was just heating up those tires lap after lap, and he wasn't stopping himself from sliding. And the temperatures were getting insane. And you're just going around a corner which would usually be fairly easy flat. You need some concentration, but you can manage it fairly well. And the tires just give up. And that's what these drivers need to try to avoid doing, because you have got some straights to cool off the tires around this track, but you still got to be very aware of them. And Reese, you can see, very smoothly driving, not getting too much wheel spin on the corner exits, not sliding too much either, and making those lap times continue to be posted in the 13s.
Yeah, fantastic consistency by Andrew Roos. Another trick that some drivers use is backing up the braking points just little by little with each lap. That puts constant wear on the front tires, and it actually helps consistency. I know it's a technique used at Iowa. And, early on in the race, you're using this mark, and then at the end of the race, you're completely 100 feet, 100 yards behind of where the original marker was. And, slowly by slowly, you just back that thing up and put less stress on worn tires, but you keep getting consistent lap times because the car is getting lighter. But the tires, that's a finite thing. The tires can't just adjust with you, and you can massage them to keep doing purple laps, unless you have a bone by tire gone method. But I don't believe any of these drivers really have that going on, and none of them are made with Hamilton.
Yeah, maybe if you say that, maybe the tires will magically get
I haven't tried it, honestly. I think I need to.
Lewis maybe has found a glitch in the matrix or something.
Maybe.
Kitzelman just about ahead of Dardania. Also, Bieler ahead of Southie. Not sure when he made that move there, Bieler. So, apologies if we've missed that. In fact, I think it was on the last lap, actually. Yeah, because he did 15 compared to Southie's 16 dead. So, dropped down pace there for Southie on that last time. I assume it was just a bit of a mistake for him. And Dardania looking to pass Kitzelman. He keeps up this pace. He could probably get to Redford. Redford and Glasgow Joe. Well, just a quick shout out by the way to Sonia Glasgow. Absolutely terrific driving from him so far. Qualified up in 6th position. He's backing up that pace right now, doing really well as the kind of going. Lots of experience in the V8 supercars, which may be handled quite similar to these machines. So I don't know if that's maybe helping. But no, really doing well. P2 currently in the amateurs. Currently Redford, Glasgow and Kitzelman top 3 in the amateur category.
Yeah, fantastic result. Kittle a big moment right there. Coming out of that corner, but Daldane is right on his tail. We were talking about Daldane's for qualifying. I think he's shown that he's better in the race than qualifying. Though, on road courses, I think it's for here, it's all about that qualifying. Then your pace throughout the race and keep these tires alive. That's going to be the main thing that we look at right here, and I think Dowdone has the faster car, is getting a better run. Looking down the inside, here comes Mr. Aggression, sending it down to the inside, heading into the bus stop chicane. Absolute beauty of a move into 7th place. Cuts the track.
I wonder if we'll see him come into the pits particularly early, just to avoid having to deal with Glasgow. Yeah, a couple of laps earlier, tyres certainly get the jump from the distance back there. He is from Glasgow. By the way, there was a post by Lenewitt.
Dowdone just messed it up, went wide in that corner. And Kittleman gets past Dowdone. So Dowdone a little bit too aggressive, a little bit too much mustard into that corner. And Kittleman sneak by.
Yes, sorry that I missed that one, but yeah, take that from Dowdone. Yeah, Lenewitt said earlier on that Wright was going for, or Adam, team of the right priority, was going from last to first. Well, if he keeps up this pace, he will not be far off. Well, that last lap wasn't very good, a 15.2, but the lap before he was actually matching the leaders. Was Adam Wright? He did a 14.5, which was his one of his best laps, and his fastest lap is a 13.8. So he is probably the fastest guy besides the top 3 at the moment. Is right. He's been in traffic for the whole day then, and he's got some catching up to do. But if he keep up this, then he could be in a good shape. As this is Beeler versus Southie, and Beeler having to defend from Southie right now. He's trying to retake that position that he lost a little while back. The Belgian is moving ahead of the Joe. There's contact between the two of them. Is he going to be able to get started? I don't think the 69 will do. Is he dragging what he is onto the grass, or lose a bunch of time out there?
Yeah, remember there's dropped oil out there in that grass.
Yeah, if it wasn't slippery before.
And he goes into the pits with 25 laps to go. So I think Vila is just like, all right, I've worn these tires out. I'm probably not going to catch up to him after making that mistake. So the best opportunity to save this is to try to go for that undercut opportunity and head into the pits first. Use those fresh tires. He's got a little damage repaired as well. He's getting all the tires repaired too. So what Vila's looking to do is just completely use this outlap in his advantage, and the rest of the time that everybody else has on these tires, and just hope that they're stuck up in incidents and he's just in clean air, because we've seen this happen multiple times here on Apex Racing TV. Somebody takes an undercut, they're let off in clean air, they're let off outside of traffic, and everybody else, while racing inside of traffic, is still held up with each other, racing around each other. As more drivers heading into the pit lane, even if it's over 1 or 2 laps, the undercut is super powerful because, you know, fresh tires, fresh grip, you're nursing a lot of things. Roos stays out, Moto stays out, Repsart and Reed, they've been racing together, and they're going to head in together as well. They're going to go and try to undercut our race leader as well, because nothing has been working for them, as they're getting all 4 tires replaced as well. There is Alexander Dowdone and Kevin Kittleman battling with each other.
Not sure why Reed pits it there. You'd think, seeing that he's been stuck behind his driver for the whole race, you'd either go for the undercut, or you'd stay out and try to get a tire advantage for the rest of the race. But he's kind of just resigning himself to P3, I think, on that.
Well, if you do the opposite of the guy in front of you, you're going to be giving up track position, because he'll be on the fresher tires no matter what. You might think that you're faster than the guy ahead, but, you know, when you're both falling off of your best times, and he'll be on the better tires, because last lap it was about, for Andrew Roos as he heads into the pit lane, last lap was a 1:14.68. His best lap was a 1:13.14. So that's over a second of lost time right there, 1.4 seconds, and even just on an outlap on fresh, cold tires, that will still have a lot of impact on your lap time. Still, like, if you aren't trying, if you're pushing, you'll be about 7/10 quicker than what you're currently doing. And so that's why he probably went in with him. If he stayed out right there, that gap that he's to Tony would be a lot farther ahead. But Tony and Jacob still no tail with each other. Here comes Andrew Roos. And like I said, the undercut worked, And there we go. Tony Repsart, net leader of the race. And Roos going to come right out in front of Jacob Reed right there. Reed trying to hold around the outside. Reed's on the warmer tires, up the temperature, but he's just not going to have that track position right there. But yeah, undercut working for Tony. And Roos struggling with tire grip, but Tony in the net lead of this race. And Roos really going to be pressuring him right here. And don't forget about Reed. Reed's back there, and he's going to be a little bit crafty right now and try to catch Roos off guard, because remember, Roos still on those cold tires.
So I'm really surprised that that was enough for him. 2 seconds, I think, was the gap. And yeah, just in one lap managed to make that up. It wasn't too bad a stop, at least for Andrew Roos. He was stationed for actually a shorter amount of time, albeit his pit lane transit time was much longer. So he was actually down the pit lane for 2 seconds longer, even though he was stationary for less time, as he's going to run wide, taking too much curve, as you say, and just keeping that position, although still will have to keep an eye on the mirrors heading into the braking zone in turn 1. So it seems as though, of course, you have no pit limiter in these cars. I imagine Roos has just not nailed the controlling of the pace in the pit lane, and that's why he's 2 seconds slow, and that's cost him the race lead.
Yep, that's what exactly happened. As he went into the pit lane, I believe he went in a little bit too hot, slammed on the brakes, and went down below the pit speed limiter, and just like tried to find that right balance right there. And you know, nailing that pit speed limit when you have no pit speed limiter is really crucial for these cars. Some people really charge it in there, they slam on the brakes to get down there, but sometimes they'll go about 10 or 20 miles per hour slower, especially if you're me and you have no idea, no sense of speed at all. But you know, for some of these guys like Tony and Reed, they went into the pit lane and they were very gradual on the brakes, and they slowed it down right at that point. And this is why practicing pit ins on road courses is so crucial, and ovals for anything. It's a very niche thing to practice, but you know, that can decide a race, and right now it is deciding the race. New fastest lap for Tony Repsart at 1:12.89 compared to the 1:13.01 by Andrew Roos. So you know, Tony starting to pull away, and you know, he was very aggressive on his tires the first time because he was chasing Andrew. Well, now he's leading Andrew. We're going to have to be watching how he uses those tires throughout this race, because Andrew was milking those tires for everything they were needed all the way to his pit stop.
Donny not helping himself in this race. He's just had quite a poor pit stop, a couple of seconds longer stationary than other drivers, maybe putting too much fuel.
He probably missed the pit box.
Or maybe missed the pit box, yeah. That's a good shout. And yes,
or
got to catch up to
bit
Chris again.
I believe Dowd9 was repairing a little bit of damage too. Unchecked fast repair, because remember, he did door another driver pretty hard earlier. So he's probably just getting that a little bit repaired. Can never understand what Alessandro Dowd is doing all the time. I remember in trucks he was known for qualifying backwards, and I still don't know why he does it.
Yes, yeah. So Redford still staying out, and this is an interesting tactic from Redford. He was running top of the amateur drivers, and he's going to put that into a bit of jeopardy right now, because he's almost certainly going to lose track position to Glasgow from here. Glasgow, well, we'll be able to see his next lap time. Redford doing a 16.28. Glasgow doing a 13.74, so 2.5 seconds gain. The gap was about 4 seconds before. So
well, remember,
Redford going far into this race. It's a 45 lap race, remember, so we're well and truly into the second half of the event. And so, yeah, really risking it. And well, he's going to have to make some mistakes later on.
Yeah, he definitely is. And Redford, like we were talking to on the formation lap, he's definitely not a road course driver in these things. So he's just going as long as he can, and going headed to the pits. He's going to be the fastest driver out there on track right now as he heads into the pits on his lap 25, where the driver you're looking at, Sergey, went in a lap 23. So 2 lap near tires. He was kind of in dead air, but I believe he will be losing this spot to Sergey unless Sergey had a little bit of an issue, but he's got Kevin Kittleman right behind him. So I think he's pushing it just a little bit. Redford should be getting out of his pit stops right now. His box, there he goes. And there goes Sergey, just going to be coasting right past him up into fifth. No, Redford's going to get out there because the track cuts in. Redford with the overcut still ahead of Sergey Glaskov. Mark Redford, what a pit stop. Give your boys a beer after that one.
Yeah, I thought he was going to lose that one, but he's spinning around and he's crashed into the wall, and that's a heavy hit there for one of the championship contenders. Kitzelman goes through, Glaskov with nowhere to go, and now we've got another car involved, or we may have others. There goes Daladoni trying to avoid, he hits the wall, and that's a lot of drivers. Sorry, Bila making contact right there, and there's another one, I think, spinning around. Huge shame for a handful of drivers right there. And well, we need to see a replay of that one.
Was that a curse?
Cold tires.
Was that a curse? I don't think it was a curse. I was saying great pit stop.
No, I think I think you're complimenting the past, not looking to their future. Yeah, just the cold tires and oh man, Glaskov actually went up high, I think deliberately to try to avoid it.
And
and
then who was that in the final? Who decided that just dunked the car in there? It wasn't O'Shea. O'Shea had that issue. Glaskov was involved. We're having a. I don't think it was O'Shea though. O'Shea's been in the pit lane. Oh, it was O'Shea. O'Shea, for the second time in the same corner, gets into an incident, and I feel like something's just been thrown across the room right there. If we had driver cameras for this series, we would need to blur what's going on in there because there's definitely some anger words being shouted.
Bruce is very close right now. Bruce is right onto the tail of group, so he's going to try to use those one-lap fresher tyres to his advantage. He's got plenty of time to go. I've seen overtaking possible, but not easy, as we kind of expected around this second. And they're approaching traffic as well. They're coming up to the guys running between 11th and 14th.
Absolutely, and really pressuring Repsard right now. Repsard, that gap that he's pulling away with on that first lap, it's gone now, and Rear's really pressuring Repsard to take that inside line, really chew up those tires. And, you know, he's letting his tires do the work. They're coming into traffic, too, so maybe this traffic will work out in Roos's favor. You can definitely use lap traffic like a pick to make a overtake, too.
Yeah, they're going to be lapping, well, at the moment, they're lapping a couple of seconds faster. You can see the different lines that you can kind of take. Drive it in deep into the corners and maybe take a bit less corner speed, as that's wide there for Rupasad. He's making a couple of mistakes, and Roos is much closer than he was on the last lap. Is he going to look to the inside? Surely the Frenchman is going to have to go defensive, and
here
he's
comes Reed, though.
just defending fresh air there, because here comes Reed. He's going to go for a launch around the outside, and he's getting alongside. We could be in for an overtake. Just had to pull out of it though. And, well, that set them both back slightly, but, wow, Rupasad not looking comfortable right now.
Well, Tony was very fast in a one-lap pace, but like we were saying, he was really hard on those tires after a few laps. And, you know, it's kind of repeating itself right here. Tony likes to be aggressive on those tires, and Roos, we saw him very easy on those tires around here. So that's going to be the name of the race, tire wear. And, it's Tony who's going to be battling against his car very soon, and Roos is right over that bumper right there. Getting a little love tap right there. Looking up the inside, just having a little peek-see on how much room that he has to these lap cars before Tony catches them. And Tony's going to have to get a little bit creative when passing his lap cars if they stay on the racing line and don't let them by, because they are racing with each other. But I'm expecting Tony. Oh, that's even worse. It's blinking in front of him.
Yeah, Chilo not letting it pass yet. I think Chilo's driven a bit deep into turn one, so he'll be wide on the exit. There he goes out, and now this is a dreadful place to catch up to a couple of drivers, but Nefu does let them go. Churlo is the next one, so good job there from Jason. He'll catch up to the red car in a moment, and then Churlo, oh, great job, guys, getting out of the way.
But it's going to be right on the exit. In the racing line for Roos, and that's not going to be great for Roos, as well as Reed. So Tulo did get out of the way for Repstar, but not for Roos and Reed. That did create a little bit of a gap, so Repstar can breathe again just a little bit. But here comes Roos right back around that carousel on those better tires. And well, he's back to riding that gearbox. And waiting for another move as Tony riding these tires like it was a bunker Bronco and just waiting these laps down like time on the clock.
He's never quite that curve on the inside of the final corner. Of course, he needs to be very careful. We saw, I think it was Reapside earlier on.
It was
Roos. Oh yeah, Roos, sorry.
Yeah, on his outlap, he spanked the inside curb while chasing Tony, and got two wheels in the air right there. That'll make a grown man cry right there. And that was a really tense situation. As here comes Roos. In the Drat's got a good run. It's not going to have that opportunity, but he can still apply that pressure, try to force Tony into a mistake, and take the easy route. But, you know, he's got that fresher tires. Just keep applying that pressure. Keep being nicer to those tires. And, you know, Tony's going to be pushing for everything right now. You can see the counter steer through the window right there. Tony was steering a hard left while turning right. And I've seen some crazy counter steer in my life, but that's usually a given that, hey, the tires are starting to go away.
Yeah, definitely. Quick shout out to ApexRacingLeague.com if you want to sign up to this series, wait for the remaining rounds. And go visit the sites along with visiting all the other series, as here comes the overtake here from Roos. Can't quite go for it. Roos was, to be fair to him, keeping a consistent line, but Roos realised just how tight he was going to have to take that corner, had to back out of it. But yes, do visit ApexRacingLeague.com. Also got a Formula 3 series starting up on Saturday night. Sign-ups open for that, along with plenty of other series of GT and prototype cars, as Roos is just as close again. This time isn't going to defend, but he didn't really need to in the end because he had enough pace down the straight. So Roos currently testing this out as he, going to try and go for a move into the carousel. That would be particularly ambitious.
He needs to get a good launch out of here because he's already on that bumper at Tony. But Tony defending a little bit off the exit. That's going to deny Roos an opportunity to get a good run out right there. Roos didn't really get a good setup heading into there. But what happened last lap is Tony went a little bit wide of that final corner. Roos had a great run. He was stuck on the outside, though, because Tony's car shot off to the right. And here comes Roos. He's got a better run heading into that final corner. Looking down the inside right there. He's lining himself up for a big move. Laid off the brakes. Here comes Andrew Roos for the lead. It's a bit of a squeeze right there from Tony. They make a little bit of contact, but it's Andrew Roos back into the lead. Repstar falls down to third. Reed takes second place.
We don't really know how quick Reed is because he's been stuck behind Reapsard all day long. But, if he's got some pace to Reapsard, then you would expect Roos to now pull away. He's got those one-lap fresher tyres, and the way that he was able to pull away in the second half of that first stint was very impressive. So excellent work there from the Force. He just had to, pressure him into enough mistakes and took advantage of it eventually. But, maybe Reed now sees this as the turn that he's got to go for the move and try to take this race lead.
Well, Reed, I think it's safe to say that you were right, 100%. This is the time that he has to go. He was just waiting for this opportunity to really just be let by, and he really hasn't been pushing these tires as well, but now that he's pushing, he's right on the money, but he's hit that inside curve. That's going to be killing his momentum right there. But we got a little taste of feisty Jacob Reed. That Tony had a little bit of luck, but it wasn't really a challenging look. And also, Tony's picked up some damage on the right side of his car. From that little squeeze, does Bruce have any damage from that incident? Don't know how I spotted.
That's almost into the wall for Jacob Reed, pushing it right to the limit. He's made a couple of mistakes first up that final corner now through the S's, but he's still staying close. He breaks particularly late, it seems, for the bus stop, and he gains a lot. That's really good for him around there. He can take so much of the curb without having to worry about getting a slowdown, and they are gapping Rupert side up at this moment. Oh, by the way, just a reminder, Kitzelman currently leading out of the amateurs. He is being caught by Dalladone. That's Kitzelman overtaking Hutchinson and Glaskov early on when Glaskov, apologies, Hutchinson spun into, again, apologies, it wasn't Hutchinson. What am I thinking? It was Redford who spun into the path of Glaskov. Those two retired from the race, who were the top two in the amateurs, and it's inherited the lead to Kevin Kitzelman, who is the championship leader, right 6 seconds further back. So no thoughts of the amateur race win coming down to the wire. Lundgren is now top of the, it's now third out of the amateurs. A lot of them have had problems. He's ahead of Glaskov, who of course was involved in that incident. Lundgren went away in the first stint, was one of the last drivers to pit for tyres earlier on, and yeah, he's doing particularly well up there in 10th place overall, but nearly a whole lap back on the race leaders.
Yeah, it's insane on how much the infield's fallen away. Speaking of falling away, Tony Red starts falling away from the fight for the lead, and you know that's probably showing how much he's been pushing these tires. And well, now that the two leaders been able to get past him on those much more looked after tires with 10 laps to go, it's going to be very insane to see how this fight, because Jacob Reed, like we were saying, hasn't been aggressive at all today, and he just kind of took that spot. But yeah, I just had a quick look at the left side of Reed's car. There is some scratch marks right there, but nothing bodywork wise. It's more just well, it's on the bodywork, but it's nothing really sticking up right there. You can see Tony's got the damage on the right side of the car, but Bruce on the left side of the car, that's where they made contact. It's a little bit scratched up in the back left part of it.
Yeah, it's straight line speed at least seems to be alright down the pit straightaway. Just looking out to see if there was any kind of draft effects for Reed, but yeah, so damage looks to be making minimal difference, at least down the straights, as Dalladone has a small glance. Just behind them is the number 10 of Korolev, as wide as Kittelman, and Dalladone is past. So Rolls has reversed from last time, from earlier on in the race. Dalladone now in 5th place. He'll be by himself, if you'd expect him to do this. But yeah, that number 10 just behind, not for position. That's Luka Korolev, who has got one of the freshest sets of tyres of anyone out on track. He was running up in 4th place, of course, was earlier on, and had to unfortunately had a connection problem, and so lost 5 laps. Did Korolev. You can see him down there in 17th place at the moment. But yeah, a couple of points lost for Kitzelman, but still going to be a comfortable amateur race win, seemingly.
Yeah, currently in a comfortable seat for the amateur championship, as we take Glaskov, the driver with the newest tires on track. And also speaking on track, Mark Redford is back on track right there. He is a lap down, but Glaskov does have the newest tires out of anyone. He's chasing down Robert Lundergan right there. And a 2-lap difference on tires right there, but last lap Sergey was a little bit faster. And we can see Mark right there. Still, I think he's a little bit down after what happened. And, you know, I would be too.
Certainly. Although it was his fault, but to be fair. But, I mean, he'll certainly be feeling sad. I have more sympathy for Glaskov, though.
I have more sympathy for Rory.
Good shout.
Yeah. O'Shea has been involved in an incident in that corner twice today. He's been towed out of that corner, and he's also had an incident in the chicanes, and nothing's gone great for Rory today. And you know, this is definitely the drop round.
Yeah, it's scoring any points more than 10 laps down. So yeah, won't be happening for him there. Shout out to Virtual Racing School for sponsoring this series. Virtual Racing School providing 50 data packs for lots of different cars on the iRacing service, and those data packs includes a variety of setups and track tutorials, and you've also got their data analysis software as well to pinpoint how you can improve on your driving. So thanks to Virtual Racing as well, particularly thanks to them for this series, because they are offering lots of subscription prizes, a variety of like 1 year, 3 month, 6 month subscriptions to the Virtual Racing School, and that of course will be very good use for many of these drivers who race on the overside and of course also on the roadside. So thanks to Virtual Racing School for their support of the series, as Klassen's finally got past Lundgren. He's had to wait a while. He's gone a bit deep though, and Lundgren is able to come back. He kept a cool head there and takes advantage of the Russian's mistake.
What a fantastic move, you know, put on the pressure, make them into the mistake, and, you know, you take an easy overtake right there. And those are sweet, and he's definitely pumping his fist right there. But if you look in the rearview mirror, there's a car with their name on it right there. That would be Andrew Roos, who is slowly closing in, and he wants to make them a lap down very soon. But, you know, all the way down to down the field, they've been having a bang-up job. Bang up race pretty much, so that, you know, they're battling for 10th place too, so good points right there. But you can see on how fast the leaders race are compared to everyone else's. So consistent on these times. He's doing 1:14.67s, and everybody else is averaging about 1:14.9, 1:15s as well. It was a 1:14.8 last after Jacob Reed, so hey, you know, he wasn't being that aggressive, but, you know, he got that spot that he wanted. But Andrew Roos is magic on those tires.
Yeah, it's interesting to pull out that gap, get a bigger and bigger advantage as the stint goes on. And this will be very useful points for him. He would this would be his second race win of the season as well, if he can finish this one after winning back at I believe it was Phoenix earlier on in the season as well, where he also won last season as well. He's very good at that side. So yeah, will be very valuable points for Roos.
Also,
down in third place, and of course Reed as well, I think would be his keeping up that 100% record of finishing the top 5 in every race. I believe he's insanely consistent as Jacob.
Yeah, you definitely consistency is key overseas. The most consistent driver usually wins the championship, but you know, sometimes that takes a little sideshow, as the most winningest driver just sometimes takes the championship as well. But it's usually the most consistent always takes the prize. But you know, if you're always consistent but never taking the win, you are leaving some valuable points on the table. But Andrew Roos, you know, we were saying he loves Phoenix. Well, you know why? He knows how to manage these tires really well, and he's done it again. Another masterclass, 2 seconds to Reed, and I think it was 2 laps ago they was a second ahead of him. So, you know, he's really putting the hammer down at this point.
Yeah, so him at this point. Also, another thanks to SDK Gaming, the sponsor for this series, also the provider of our overlay, and you can see it for yourself. It is superb, and there's lots more options as well. I mean, we can display profile pictures as well. There's so much possibility with SDK Gaming, and of course it's great as well for live timing. Us commentators use it right now. It displays a lot of important information, as F3 has a bit of an excursion, and also it's great as a heads-up display is SDK Gaming. So do check out sdk-gaming.co.uk to get yourself a free trial. You get a fortnight's free trial when you sign up. As
double mistake ahead of Roos.
Well, that was, well, maybe that was a very clever way of getting out of his way. Not quite sure. I don't think that was in their mind.
I don't think either of them.
Glasgow actually getting past Lundgren there.
Yeah, Lundgren locked up heading into turn 1, and then Glasgow locked up in response, and they both sailed off the track right there, and they let Roos by. And Roos just like, you know, I don't think that was planned right there, but I'll take it. And Reese just probably saw that because went, oh my gosh, that did not just happen.
Now they've switched back positions again. That seemed very easily given up there by Glasgow. So well, he's going to have to do it again. He's kind of running out of laps here. I thought he'd be able to do it, both of them with very fresh tyres, but neither then catching up to Bila ahead. Really, the only battle currently going on out of the top 8 drivers is actually Kitzman coming back at Dalladone. He's very up and down race. 5th place won't be bad, but that catches his pace. Made quite a few mistakes. Hasn't done a whole lot of preparation for this race, and yet still doing up there in 5th place. But yeah, Kitzman has got a bit closer, and Roos, despite the traffic on that last lap, pulling away by another second. Absolutely sprinting well.
Yeah, Alessandro's last lap was a second slower than Kevin Kittleman. So yeah, let's take a look at that battle for 5th place between Alessandro Dalladone and Kevin Kittleman. And hey, we got ourselves a little bit of a ride of a battle right here. Kevin Kittleman looking down the inside of Alessandro Dalladone, and you know, he's not alone. He's got the number 10 with him as well, and that's Luka Korolev. Alessandro Dalladone defending on the inside. Kittleman looking onto the outside. You know, he's got Korolev back there on his bumper, and they both meet up off the exit. They make contact. A little bit of a love tap between both of them. But this is a doggone fight for 5th place, and I'm pretty sure they're both having a big smile right there. Look at Korolev is probably the one that's not smiling out there. This Dalladone clips the inside curve, gets drifted out a little bit wide. Here comes Kittleman. He has a better run than Dalladone. Is he going to look down the inside on Mr. Regression? No, he's not. The two Toyotas still nose to tail with each other. The number 10 car is 5 laps down compared to them, so he's not in this fight. He's just being there, and he's enjoying it. And I think he's going to be given a little bit of a push to Kittleman to get him back up to that fight. You know, just incite some interesting aspects of this race. And interesting aspect of the race, white flag, 1 more lap to go. Here at Watkins Glen for the Apex Racing League B-Class Championship as Mark Hutchinson heads into the pit lane.
He's going to need a place to Redford here because of this extra stop. Just to run out of fuel and just needing a short fill up right.
That's the worst feeling, but white flag in the air. Andrew Bruce just coming through the chicane right here. Andrew Bruce, yep, coming through the chicane, and that just leaves 1 more chance for Kevin Kittleman to get a run on Dalladone, but Dalladone's so far ahead. It's going to be a massive last lap dive, but I believe Kittleman is being held up by Korolev. He's trying to overtake them, as taking the win in a masterclass of how to keep your tires alive. Andrew Roos, Hungarian, takes a 2nd win this season, here in the ARL NASCAR B-Class Championship. He's followed by Jacob Reed and Tony Repsard. 1, 2, 3. They've just been on another level here today. And Motos comes home in 4th, and is probably as also the most talked about driver of today. Outside of Dalladone and Kittleman, 1 corner to go. It's not going to have any really big things happening here unless Dalladone absolutely screws up the exit. He is not. Dalladone is going to come home in 5th place with Kittleman in 6th. Adam Wright comes home right in 7th place. Korolev comes home in 17th. And they're followed by Sufi, Glasgow, Lundgaard, Copland, Tulo, and Henrik Bila, top 10 in that 69 machine, finishing 9th.
Yeah, a couple more laps and Wright would have been in there, wouldn't he? Yeah, it was very close by the end, catching huge amounts of time. Wright was so quick. Hopefully we get an interview with him. I don't know why he didn't qualify. Actually, he may have got a penalty. That would explain it. And he got to P2, but he should have. I mean, had it not been for that penalty, I think he maybe would have been a rival for Modos, honestly, for 4th position. He was really quick out there, despite being an amateur driver. Andrew Roos, that's now 3 wins in 5 races in Apex Racing League NASCAR, which is pretty cool. Of course, he won the last race of the Truck Series, and then 2 races out of the 4 this season. So it just shows the force that he is. Unfortunately, it was a poor Daytona round, I believe. And yeah, sent him back as yeah, a little bit of maybe a photo opportunity for the teammates.
Yeah, teammate salute right there from the 55. Andrew Roos takes the win ahead of Jacob Reed as Andrew Roos. Come on, don't keep me waiting. Burns it down here at Watkins Glen. Oh, reverse burn down. Austin Powers? Oh, he's Austin Powers. There he goes. Burns it down on the front straight. He was milking that one opportunity. But yeah, Andrew Roos takes the win ahead of Jacob Reed, Tony Ripsard at 3rd, Giannis Motos, Alessandro Taladone, Kevin Kittleman, Adam Wright, Matthew Souffet, Henrik Biela, Sergey Glaskov, Rob Lundgaard, Kev Goplin, Thor Thulo, Jason Nethery, Mark Redford, Mark Hutchinson, Luca Korleff, Rory O'Shea, Mark Sergel, Martin Steinbeckler, and Jeremy Corres. Our last 3 drivers did not even complete a lap, as you know, they just weren't happy with the track and how the car was handling, so they just they showed up, but they didn't take part. So 18 cars took part here, but the best of them was Andrew Roos.
Yes, and we have an opportunity to have a couple of interviews. Well, Austin, would you like to take Alessandro, or would you be alright with myself having a chat with him?
Oh, I will let you chat with Alessandro.
Excellent. Mr. Dardane joins us in the commentary box now. Congratulations there, Alessandro. It wasn't the perfect performance, but 5th place, I think, considering the pace of the top 4, that was as best as could hope for after qualifying.
Yeah, you know already why I wasn't performing really well. I did like 10 laps of practice in the last half an hour, and I couldn't be bothered to do anything beforehand. So 5th place was the best result I could hope for. Yes, indeed. And I'm stoked about it because I think I was maybe 8th or 9th place pace-wise. So I just managed to keep it clean, and I take 5th place. Come on.
Yes, I mean, it's very good points for the championship, but yeah, it did look like you were kind of figuring out the circuit as you were going around there. You're missing a couple of apexes in the early stages, but yeah, once you got going, you were very quick out there. Talk us through those final few laps, because you overtook Kittleman, you had decent tyres, and they seemed to, you know, come back at you a little bit. Was that the tyres falling away, or what?
Yeah, I think so. I wasn't really focused after I passed Kevin, to be fair. So that might be one reason, but I felt definitely the tires being much slower and having some more trouble compared to the first stint, because I pushed a bit in the second stint at the start, while in the first one I was just cruising around for the first 10 laps. So I guess that's the reason why I struggled the last lap. I just couldn't turn the car and get it stopped. I was literally parking on the apex every corner to not let Kevin go through.
Yeah, some smart driving out there, Kevin. I wasn't able to get past. You raced in this car, apologies, you raced around this circuit in the trucks last season. What's kind of the differences between the 2 machines in on these road courses?
It's day and night difference. I miss so much the tracks in any races we've been doing this season. Don't get me wrong, the B-Class car is very nice. It's the best one for racing, because you need a bit more skills than the tracks. But the tracks are just pick up and drive for me, so I don't need practice because it's much easier to drive. Whilst this car, if you don't practice, you're gonna take quite a bit to get used to the track. So at least personally, for me, this track has been very difficult, especially on road courses. Really, really tough, because you really need to be careful on throttle.
Well, congratulations on the 5th position, Sanjay. It certainly keeps you in the championship hopes, because you got that drop down for the meeting that you missed. So still got plenty of chances with the rounds remaining. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Well, thanks to 1050 Barbanera Racing, Kairos competitions, and all the guys who were trying to distract me during my race. And yeah, time to go play Football Manager, I guess. Otherwise, Marco will kill me.
Get
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, chat to you next week, Sanjay.
Bye bye.
Sanjay Daldone finishing in 5th position tonight, and yeah, like I said, he's still got a chance at the title. He missed last week, which will set him back a bit, but he's had consistent results beside that, I believe. So we'll still have a shot with the second half of the season still to run.
Yeah, second half of the season is up for grabs. Still, you can't really decide the season by the first 4 rounds, but it does give you a good look of the championship. And speaking of the championship and good looks, we're joined by Kevin Kittleman, who does have a very better look at the AM championship. He hasn't had the best, like you said, the most consistent races, but of the AMS championship, he's been the most consistent, the best finishing them, and this finish in 6th place is definitely showing that opportunity even more. Kevin, how was that race and how are you feeling?
Good evening. How am I feeling? First of all, delighted to have a solid finish again after last week, after the horrible Charlotte, where I had good chances on scoring an overall podium and then jinxed myself there. Yeah, I'm very happy with the finish today, how it turned out, and to be honest, I gotta say, I didn't quite thought I would get like such a good top 10 finish. To me, it's a good top 10 finish because I saw the practice times from other people, and I was like, yeah, okay, no way I'm gonna be that competitive today. But I don't know, somehow during the race, all played out for me.
Now, the race certainly did work in your favor at the end of it. Your lap times were very consistent. You and Alessandro were having a good fight all the way to the line, and it looked like you were trying to make some moves, but you had Luca in your rearview mirror. Was he being a little pest with you, or was he just trying to help you get back up to him?
I hope he was trying to help me, but to be honest, during the race, you don't think about he might push me down a straight or something, and I think it's even too dangerous. But no, in all seriousness, I was a bit confused because he was always sitting within a tenth in my rear, and I was like, what the hell is he doing? Is he trying to pass me? I know he's quicker than me, so I was like, okay, if you have to run, then go for it. But every time he let off the gas and got behind me again. But yeah, man, the battle at the end with Alessandro was quite awesome. I also thought I had no chance against Alessandro. I knew from the past season with the trucks that he's a quick driver, especially on road courses. And he proved that once again today with the Xfinity cars. And once he got past me, yeah, I thought I would never get back to him. But then he made small, tiny mistakes here and there, which allowed me to get back up to him. Yeah, it didn't quite work out in the end, but it was still fun to battle with him.
It definitely looks like you were having a lot of fun out there. How do you enjoy driving on the road courses compared to the ovals?
I like ovals still better, but it still adds a little bit of spice into the calendar, always going the left side, and for once you have to turn right. Mixes things up, especially driving skill wise, because stock cars heavy, a lot of power, no traction control, no ABS, nothing. So yeah, you really got to wrestle those cars around, and I enjoy it, but with those cars I still prefer the oval.
All right, well, you're going to be glad that was the last road course for the rest of the season, the only one. So we head to Michigan next time by. Before I let you go to get ready to travel up to that massive oval, anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, the whole Indie Autosport team, the Lunatic Boys, Martin Sports, Sim Racer Coin, Sim Thunder, and all of my friends who are watching today. Greets to you guys, and yeah, of course, also to you guys for always putting on a great show and making this possible.
And thank you for putting on a great show out there out on track. Kevin, we'll see you next time. Bye. Sam, any closing thoughts?
Well, looking forward to getting back on the ovals. Honestly, I think one road course is nice, but I think we want to see the ovals back in the future. And of course, we've got some absolutely terrific circuits remaining on the calendar. And well, next time out is going to be Michigan race circuit, which yeah, I think last season was all right if I recall correctly. Austin, so yeah, looking forward to that. And then of course we've got some absolute classics to round out the season: Bristol, Talladega and Homestead in the second half of this championship.
Yeah, the ending of this championship certainly is stacked. A lot of massive ovals right there. We're going to be looking for a great race overall next week here for the ARL NASCAR B-Class Championship over at Michigan. But for now, from Watkins Glen, I'm going to have to say it is time to head off and enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. I've been joined by Sam Fitzpatrick with Samuli Kumo in the production booth. And I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.